Well, Zach, as I was saying, the day of reckoning is here, man.
It has happened. And it's happened to your favorite team, the Hornets. What a way to wake up today. Just insane stuff happening. This one felt even more exciting than the Giannis trade, just because of how unexpected this was.
Yeah, the
It all
timing was
happened so
unexpected.
fast, man. It happened so fast.
Well, they
We
said it
found out
was.
last night
Yep.
in the second round of all things, this talk started happening, and by morning, he's going to the Timberwolves.
Yes,
So,
sir.
real quick, the Hornets are trading Lamelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first round pick, 3 first round pick swaps, and 3 second round picks. Josh, as a Hornets ambassador, how are you feeling about this trade?
I am actually feeling really good. Um, I knew the Lamelo trade was probably to come sooner or later. I thought there was maybe hope that maybe it wasn't going to happen after last season, but as time is still going on, and when we first heard about the trade, it still makes sense that they were considering it just because of everything that came behind it, which we'll talk about more of that. I did want to start by saying thank you to LaMelo Ball and everything he did for Charlotte. 6 long years of him playing for the Queen City. Um, he was a player that I was able to gravitate towards after Kemba Walker left the team. Um, so to have him around for as long as we did, which it's crazy knowing that it's already been 6 years having him on the team. Um, I'm very thankful that we got to have the time that we had with him, and very glad for all the hard work he put in. The times where it seemed like he was injured all the time, but dude stayed happy majority of the time. He did everything he could to try to help us win basketball games, so I appreciate that. Um, if if there's any Timberwolves fans, you know, I'm happy for you. Congrats on getting them. Um, he's a guy who wants to win games. I know a lot of people make fun of his press conferences and how goofy he can be from time to time, but at the end of the day, he is a guy who wants to win basketball games, regardless on and off the court, and he is a really good teammate. So when it comes to like locker room and his mentality, you're getting a good player for sure. So, um, and I also want to say thank you to the Hornets organization. What an amazing job. I gotta say, man, like the amount of work they have been able to put in these past couple years has been amazing. I am constantly feeling like I'm in euphoria by all the trades and moves that Chef Jeff Peterson does consistently to try to give us a more winning basketball team. Um, so shout out to him and shout out to the owners as well, the ownership. I saw a video today because they had their meeting with our draft picks today, their little press conference, and the owners were talking about it a little bit, the transaction, and the main quote that they had to say was, in these past years of owning the team, like we've told the fan base, we're going to do everything we can that is in best interest of the organization, the fan base, of bringing a winning culture to this team. So if there is a move out there that progresses this team to winning and winning championships moving forward in the future, they will take the shot no matter whether people think they're crazy or they think they're normal. whatever the scenario is, no matter how big or small the deal is, they feel like every trade they make is very important to the future of this team. Um, so I appreciate them sticking to their guts. And me being a Hornets fan, there are a lot of LaMelo fans, and that fan base is crazy and insanely toxic at times. For them to take a shot like this and knowing the repercussions of how LaMelo fans are going to act, I applaud you because as soon as this trade happened, it's a very diverse community on all social medias. And if anything, it's really told me that there's either LaMelo fans or Hornets fans. I've known that for a while now. If anything, this trade has shown me more who the real fans of the team are and who the fans are of just one player. Um, so yeah. And
Yeah, I went from 50 to 12. Sorry.
yeah. Um, it's kind of like the Russell Westbrook. Like when I was thinking about it, I'm like, it's kind of like Russell Westbrook because all these Westbrook fans, dude, and they're just you take the you don't just take Westbrook with you, you also take, that fan base that's with him to any organization, and it's brutal. Because I remember
Yeah.
when he was on the Lakers, bro, Laker fans were complaining about Westbrook fans so much. It was ooh. It's kind of like this in a scenario, but anyways. And the last thing I want to move on to is I want to have a one-on-one with Hornets fans real quick. And maybe Wolves fans a little bit too, because it's fine if they want to listen in on this part. To the Hornets fans that are fans of the team and worried and crying, I want to tell you this trade is only going to help us get better and help build the team that Charles Lee, Jeff Peterson, and our owners have envisioned. The first question I want to let you guys think about for the rest of this video is this. Did anyone watching the Spurs and Timberwolves series that was played this last playoffs, did you ever think in your mind, man, if only Minnesota had LaMelo Ball instead of Naz Reid? I just want you to think about that. Did you ever in that Spurs and Timberwolves game until now ever think, man, if only the Timberwolves had LaMelo Ball, we would be in such a better position right now without Naz Reid? Okay. So just thinking about that. Second, trading LaMelo Ball, and some people will say he's our best player and everything. That's fine. Like, you can definitely make an argument that LaMelo is still our best player this past season. I think Brandon Miller overall, as time goes on, they will be better than LaMelo. If anything, with all the shots and usage that LaMelo takes from this team and all the guys around him, I think I would not be surprised if and Brandon elevated to another level next season and Coby White as well. Um, Keeping LaMelo really staggers our offense, especially for the way that Charles Lee wants to play. And it's the Celtics basketball type of way where you're getting everybody involved. Um, you have your multiple guys who can play make, not just one guy. What made it so hard for us to get rid of LaMelo Ball is his ability to play make, and essentially make his team better, the guys around him. As time has gone on, we have been able to get pieces that can help replace that, um, because that's what's kept us from getting rid of LaMelo is his ability to play make, get people involved, make the passes that nobody else can. Regardless, though, statistically, this past season, yes, we did make the play-in once again after many seasons. After watching those two games against the Heat and Magic, I still question myself. Is LaMelo truly the number one of this team? Is this the guy that I think can lead us to an NBA Finals? And at the end of the day, I still question myself to this day if he is, and I don't really know if he can. And him being on the Timberwolves, he's not even going to be the number one option. He's going to be behind Anthony Edwards as a scorer. Um, I still think Rudy Gobert is a better player than LaMelo. So LaMelo's not even the second best player on their team. I think he's going to be the third best player, unless Gobert starts regressing, which can happen. This is one of the most eye-popping things to me, and the reason I think this way is because in all the play-in games LaMelo has played, which, by the way, LaMelo has never made the playoffs. In his whole 6 years of being with the Hornets, I've defended the man saying that he does make us better. He helps us win games. In the scenario that we were in, he did, because we just did not have a lot of talent around us. Now we do as time progresses. Um, but here's the big thing. We've only been to 4 play-in games, have not been to playoffs ever since LaMelo's been on this team. LaMelo averages 23 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists in those 4 play-in games. His points go up a little bit overall, pretty much about the same if you correlate it to his career stats. His assist average kind of dip a little bit. But the big eye-opening thing is throughout his playing career, he has shot 30% from the field, not even three. He has shot 30% from the field in those 4 career play-in games. And from the three-point line, he shot 32.
Mhm.
Knowing that, and he's doing that in the play-in, and especially after watching what happened against the Magic, I have no reason to believe we can move forward with him being our number one option. And here's the thing, if I don't believe it, the Hornets obviously don't as well, the organization. And that's why they made this trade. Because if we keep LaMelo, he is the number one option. He's been the number one option for years. It's very hard to go to these players and be like, hey, man, you're not the number one option anymore. This guy's better than you. You can't really do that or say that. Um, it's very hard to that just like never happens. When there's a guy that you think is the best player on your team, you can't just really tell him, "Hey man, it's not your time anymore." That would be like, when Lakers like Kobe and Shaq were together, that's like going to Shaq and being like, "Hey big man, like it's Kobe's time. You need to sit down." Which is kind of what they did, but it's kind of like that in a way, but with doing this, it does open up the door for the fact that we are transitioning to Con and Brandon being the main 2 guys of this team. And as I always say, point guard led teams don't win finals. We've seen it from Magic, we've seen it from Curry. Jalen Brunson is very recent. I view that as an anomaly just because of how stacked the team was around him. So you might have been
Shea
able
and
to do it
Tyrese,
around.
though.
What's up?
Shea and Tyrese, though,
Shea as well.
two
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah. You have to be a top point guard of all time to pull it off. Like Magic and Curry, they're top 10 players of all time. Shea, when he's done with his career, I mean, he's projected to be easily a top 3 point guard of all time. And depending on what his accomplishments are going to be, he's probably going to be at least top 20 of all time. Possibly. We'll see. But
I'll give you that it's rare, but it's not like impossible.
no, it's
Because,
not impossible.
Tyrese, if he didn't have the injury in game 7, they might have won that and it would have been totally different.
Right. But you wouldn't put LaMelo on the and this is more recent too. Like we've only started to see point guards win championships more as of recent, um, because point guards are getting better, which is great to see. But I wouldn't say LaMelo is on the same level as a Shea or a Halliburton or a Brunson, because you wouldn't say that either.
No, I wouldn't. I could see a path to him being similar to Halliburton. I think they are kind of similar in some ways, but
He's
yeah,
similar, but
Halliburton
my main
is
point would be LaMelo in the playoffs always looks horrible, and he honestly is generally a shot chucker, I can't lie. Like, the
the
dude,
play-in.
it's not just the playing, it's just in general, his whole career,
Yeah.
like, he just takes so many shots where I'm just like, "That's just not a good take." Um, but it's also playing too, like, there's like, I can take away from Shea and Halliburton and Brunson, and they had moments before they made the finals where you're like, "Okay, yeah, we can do something with this player." And you knew that within the first several years of their careers. With LaMelo, it's been 6 years now, and there's never been a moment where he's taken us to the playoffs. We've only made the play-in, and once we even get to just the play-in, we're not even in playoffs versing even better teams. We're versing teams like the Heat and Magic, and the Heat and Magic are able to absolutely take LaMelo out of the game. Like, LaMelo was never a huge factor in either of those games. In the Heat game, I've seen videos of people being like, "I can't believe they traded LaMelo after this game-winning shot," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, he hit the game-winning shot, but we don't wanna talk about what happened before that game-winning shot," you know? Like,
Yeah.
let's not forget why that had to happen, is because yes, he turned it into a good scenario, but he also lost the game. When I watched the ending of the Miami Heat game and the play-in, it literally tells you everything I'm telling you is he is a sporadic player. He can help you, and when he's hot, he's hot. He goes crazy, but man, when he is cold, cold. And he does just stuff that's just mind-numbing, just doesn't make sense. Um, so it's hand in hand. He's kind of a wild card in a way, in my opinion. Um, so at the end of the day, I'm not too mad. I think just getting rid of LaMelo brings even more structure to our offense, and we will be able to flesh out guys like Coby White, Khan, and Brandon a lot more this way. And this gives them the opportunity to grow their game even more because I feel like when you play with a guy like LaMelo, at the end of the day, he is a really good playmaker. I feel like you kind of get used to playing with him to where you feel like you don't have to grow other parts of your game. Like Brandon, like I want him to be more of a playmaker, but it's very hard for me to imagine in the off season he's more focused on that because at the end of the day he still has LaMelo on his team and LaMelo takes the bulk of the offense and the playmaking to set up the offense in the half court. So, but yeah.
So now that you've had time to sit on it, really think about this whole trade in general, what letter grade would you give the Hornets for this?
Oh, and for the circumstances, I would definitely give it an A. I did not bring up the circumstances. Let me finish that real quick. This around this time last season, when we were trying to look to shop LaMelo, we were not even getting a first round pick. I don't even know if we were even getting a second round pick. We were getting bare minimum nothing. LaMelo, Trey Young, and John Morant. People were talking about all three of them because they went from being prominent all stars in the NBA to pretty much nothing on the trade market. When I look at this trade, this is an A because we should have never gotten these many assets for LaMelo. When we were trying to trade him before, we were only hoping we would even maybe get one first round pick. And I know these are pick swaps, but at the end of the day, I did the research. 2 out of the 3 pick swaps we're probably not going to get. We'll at least get one of them. I think one of them is going to be the 2030 pick. The 2033 is unprotected, so we at least get 2 first round picks. We get Nas Reed, and we have 3 second round picks. That is way more than we would have ever imagined for getting LaMelo. And while you start talking, Zach, I'm re-looking up what the Trae Young trade was because I totally forgot what that trade was. But just in comparison, like I think we got more than maybe the Hawks did, but I'm gonna double check. So, but if you wanna talk about your opinion, go ahead.
Sure. So for me, I have a little bit more of a different opinion than you with this, but first I'm going to start with like the Timberwolves perspective. And so before we even get into that, the expectation is that the trade will be part of a larger trade um, with more teams involved. So this is going to be with um, the Nets trade with Julius Randle. This is the only way that the Timberwolves and Hornets can make it work with LaMelo's salary. So the Timberwolves had a $33 million exception, and that's going to be used in this trade. So they no longer have that. So by giving LaMelo, this is now going to be the third year that they will be within the luxury tax. And so the Wolves right now at this current point in time are at $11 million under the second apron hard cap, and they have 4 roster spots to fill. So the way they have to fill out their roster is pretty much you either have to trade Rudy Gobert or you just have to go to the bargain bin and try to get veteran minimums to fill out the rest of the team because they still have a lot of work to do with this roster in the margins. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. If they keep Gobert around, I think it makes sense to do that and see if you could get some guys in for cheap. But I'll talk about the Hornets later. But for the Timberwolves perspective, I I'm pretty indifferent about it. I don't love it and I don't hate it. The one thing I do respect about Tim Connolly is that he is willing to take shots. He doesn't sit on his hands and doesn't go for the status quo. He actually wants to improve this roster and put out a contending team each year. Obviously, trading away Cat was a big mistake, but at least it showed me that he's willing to do something. And so I don't think with the current construction they had the team last year that they were improving. And if you're not getting Giannis either, there's not too many other guys I think you could have gotten that could potentially make some noise. So they had to try to find a star as well without trading Jaden McDaniels. That was like their big caveat is he's pretty much off the table. So I'm really curious to see how much the absence of Nas Reed will really affect them because I think that's something we aren't talking about as much is how much the Timberwolves could actually miss him. Like he's someone who could play. He could play next to Rudy, and he could also be the guy to play the 5 when Rudy has to take a rest. Like he's the guy that everyone kind of wants on their team. And so I think they're going to miss him more than you think. But overall, they did need someone to have the ball in their hands. They needed a point guard. They get one. And honestly, I don't think it was too much that they gave up because you have the first round pick that's in 2033, but then you have the pick swaps. And no offense, I'm not sure if the Hornets will pick high or pick lower than the Timberwolves any of those years. Or no, other way around, higher. So I'm not sure if those are necessarily going to matter. I understand just having the assets is important in general, which is a good thing for the Hornets. But yeah, I'm honestly, I'm not too big. It's a huge risk for the Timberwolves. It could pay off, and it's going to be really fun. And I admire that they're willing to go out and swing for the fences, but it has the chance to really backfire on them, especially given LaMelo's injury history. And obviously, like you even mentioned, you know, did you think that when they were playing the Spurs that they were a LaMelo ball away from beating them? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. They did need someone who was like a scorer who could score better than obviously Julius Randle. So that was very important. I do like that aspect to kind of take the load off of Ant a little bit. And I'm kind of hoping they do keep Rudy Gobert to keep that defense. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think they were pretty desperate. The Hornets, I think it was the perfect marriage if you were going to make this trade. I think it was interesting from the Hornets. I'm not huge on it for them either. I mean, I would probably give it a C plus. You're trading away, obviously, your franchise player. He's a former All Star. Things are looking up for the Hornets, and then boom, you trade your best player for, I think, value that's not as high as you could have possibly got. And I know last year his value wasn't that great, but the way he played this year, he stayed healthy. For the most part, he was a really good player. And so I'm curious what he will do in a role that's more of a complementary second option to Anthony Edwards. So, yeah, there's no A in my opinion for either team. Like both can be in the B minus C plus range for me, and I could be argued which is better, which is worse, but that's kind of my thoughts on it. My initial thoughts, like right when the trade happened, was what the heck are the Hornets doing? I thought it was crazy. But the more I was thinking about it throughout the day, the more I was like, okay, I can understand why they would do this trade. But there is some risk involved with the Hornets as well with this. Like what if LaMelo does stay healthy and does continue to thrive with the Timberwolves? Then it may not look as great. But, usually when a team throws all these picks at a star, most of the time, I would say more than half of the time, the team that gets all those assets are usually the team that wins the trade. So I'll say that's a good thing. And I'm not sure if the Hornets trust that ankle, especially if you're going into like these tough playoff series. So I don't mind the actual like organizational shift, but I don't know if I would have done this move right now as it stands. So it's more of a wait and see for both teams, honestly. I'm not sure if there is a winner, to be honest, yet. So it'll be fun to see what actually happens. Do you have the Hawks trade that's pulled up?
Yeah, so keep in mind, so when I was saying the reason I heightened this trade even more is because the fact we were able to get as much as we did is a blessing in disguise. The Hornets were able to rebuild LaMelo's value insanely because if you compare it to Trey Young, and we'll see what John Morant's package is, that's going to be rough too. um,
Yeah.
but Trey Young's package, that trade was CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. That's it. Just those two guys. They didn't get a pick. There was no single pick given. Straight up trade for Trey Young.
Yeah.
So if you tell me for LaMelo, we get a guy like Naz Reid, who me personally, like CJ McCollum, is probably not going to be around too much longer in this league. Naz Reid is still like 25, 26 years old. So we get a guy that's going to be around for a while still. Um, and the 3 pick swaps and the 3 second round picks. I mean, that's that's what we were looking for, honestly. Like I'm not really too surprised. 3 pick swaps and an unprotected. I mean, we got 7 total draft picks for LaMelo. Even if even if we're not including, if the pick swaps, go back in the favor of the Wolves, right? But um
Yeah.
which, to be honest with you, if they go back to the Timberwolves, it's fine because if they're going to keep competing, they're going to be in the latter half of the draft anyways. So I don't really care too much if we don't get picks that are in the late 20s, to be honest with you. Um, so this is more of, to me, we got the better unprotected picks and possible pick swaps for the future because I'm going to be real. LaMelo, them trading for him, this could be the start when we look back, the possible downfall of Anthony Edwards possibly leaving the Timberwolves in the future.
It's possible.
There have been rumblings in recent years, and I keep seeing reports. I saw reports coming up this year as well saying that in Anthony Edwards' camp, there is continuing growth of a possibility of leaving the Timberwolves. And I can't really blame him because if I was him and seeing Cat leave the way that that happened, they turned that whole trade into Cat to Julius Randle to what, a second round pick is what they got for that deal. I don't think they even got a first, right? Because it was the Nets that
No,
got the first.
but it's gonna be wrapped in the Lamelo deal. Like that was just to make space for someone like this. So I think when it actually comes out, like July 6th or whenever that is, it'll probably be the Nets in there, the Timberwolves and the Hornets, and who knows,
So
maybe
it's
other
going to go
teams will be
from
in that
Cat
trade.
to Julius Randle to LaMelo in a way.
Yeah, it's basically like Randall and Nas for Lamelo.
And it's because the Timberwolves don't want to go into the tax, which personally, I think they should have just went into the tax apron with Cat originally, but the
Yeah.
Timberwolves don't want to go into it. They want to try to win without having that happen. Fine and dandy. The main issue with me though is it's very hard to do that when you don't already have too much depth, and hopefully with the money that they have left, they can get some good depth because the starting lineup looks great. You don't have much off the bench now. You still have, Mike Conley, which is nice. He has still some energy in him once in a while, but you have Terrence Shannon, Kyle Anderson,
Josh Green now.
Josh Green. Oh yeah, that's true. He is on the lineup. Um, so that could be nice. Dante DiVincenzo might be back in time. We'll see. But they're gonna need some depth in that front court. And I'm interested to see what they can get for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that guy they
But
drafted like 2 years ago. Like I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Baron J or something like that. But apparently they're pretty high on him too. But he'll, be a rotational guy. But they definitely need more bodies. And there's kind of a hole there at the 4 spot. Not sure if they're going to go more small ball and even have McDaniels at the 4. Who knows what they're gonna do?
Yeah. But as
Yeah.
it
So
stands, that's the Timberwolves roster. They need more depth. As the Hornets roster stands right now, which Jeff Peterson actually said that he did not want to talk about the roster until they were done with all their moves. That instantly tells me they're not done,
yeah,
which makes sense because they just received a $40 million trade exception that they can now use on another player if they want to. They have a whole year to use that. They have till June 27th of 27 to use that exception. So it's not like they have to use it this year. If they want to wait, they can also use it next year as well.
that's what I would do.
But depending, you might want to look at your options this season. If it looks kind of shaky, then wait and see what you can do next season as well. But as the Hornets roster stands, you got Coby White now starting, Brandon, Miles is still on the team. We're probably gonna see Miles get traded as well here soon. And then they have Hans and Musa at the center position. Kristen Anderson, who just got drafted as the backup guard, Sion James, and Nas Reed is technically the backup power forward for now. But I would not be shocked. He'll probably be starting once they
Hey,
trade
don't forget
Miles.
Grant.
They have Grant as the third man, the 12th man. Yes, sir. Him and Trey Mann and
So
Kalkbrenner.
honestly, my only thing is, 48 hours ago, if you were to tell me, if you had a button that said, okay, you can trade LaMelo Ball right now, and these are the players and the assets you get, I'm not pressing that button personally for what they got. Like, what if it never got reported that they were shipping LaMelo or looking around and someone were to come up to you and be like, I'll give you Nas Reed these picks if you give me LaMelo and Josh Green? I mean, I
So
I wouldn't do it.
I was kind of surprised of the trade and everything. Like, I'm kind of with you on the fact that this is kind of out of nowhere. But my whole thing is I don't know what the trade discussions looked like in this scenario. But for me personally, when I heard LaMelo's name being brought up yesterday, I got kind of worried because I didn't really know what the package looked like. Because in my mind, I have PTSD of what the talks were of what last year's package was. And I'm like, well, if we're not getting a pick at all for LaMelo, then I'm keeping him. But you're telling me that we have the chance of having 2 first round picks and 3 seconds? And even if all 3 picks go back to the Timberwolves, we still have a first and 3 seconds and Nas Reed. Honestly, that's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, especially at this point. The rumor was always the Hornets do want to get rid of LaMelo, but it's only if the trade meets what we wanted. And I think the trade met what we wanted. It honestly was more than I would have imagined.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of the Horns fans were like, when they saw that, Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, what do you mean?
Nothing. All right, let's move on to your new
Are
starting
you
point guard.
are you saying we're thinking about using that 40 million exception on Jaylen Brown? You want to talk
No,
about
I
that a
was
little bit?
saying, I mean, we can, but I was saying that when the LaMelo stuff came out, that's what I feel like that's what Hornets people were saying.
Well, Jaylen Brown stuff is pretty quick, but if you want to talk about the the Coby White stuff as well, real quick. His extension, that's fine too, because we
Yeah,
knew the
I mean,
extension was coming. Um, we just didn't know when. And I think I even talked to you about it before. I was like, it's very odd that Coby White and Brandon Miller have not gotten their extensions yet. And now we know why.
right. Yeah, so he signed a 3-year, $74 million deal.
Yep.
Not sure, is there any like options
Nope.
or is that just
That's just
how
the
it is?
flat.
Okay.
It's a flat rate,
Yeah.
baby. Yep.
So you got Coby White and Christian Anderson. How are you feeling about the new Hornets backcourt as it stands today?
I like it a lot, dude. Having Coby White be the main guy now, it all makes sense now from all from everything, cuz the Hornets originally were like, when we traded for Coby White, Jeff Peterson was like, Coby White is going to be a big part of our future. And I was like, okay, that sounds fire. Now we know why that is. It's because Coby White is LaMelo's replacement.
Yeah,
um,
he stood on that.
no, he did. So that means
Well,
they
yeah,
always
it's gonna
knew
be a really
Zach.
big part.
Yeah, that means they always knew Zach. Because that just tells me they were already thinking it. But
Hmm.
um yeah, I'm cool with it. Fun fact, want to give you guys some stats real quick. I know people talk a lot about LaMelo's on and off numbers with the Hornets. I saw this report and I also double checked the stats here. Um, Lineups with Coby White on the court and LaMelo Ball off the court. The Hornets' offensive rating jumps to a 126.2 and a defensive rating of 110.2. That is a net rating of 16.1 when Coby White is on the floor and LaMelo is off the floor. Lineups with Coby White, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple are on the floor and Ball is off the floor. The team jumps to 134.2 offensive rating and a 105.5 defensive rating, a whole net rating of 28.7 when those three are on the court together and LaMelo is off the court. So, for all the people that look at just the basic metric of LaMelo on and off numbers, you also have to consider that Coby White is replacing him. So, in comparison, what does Coby White look like playing with Miller and Khan? And even if he's not playing with the guys, what does his on and off numbers look even just without Ball on the court with him? And they are staggeringly really, really high in net rating. Um, so if you're worried about Coby White taking the reins, that is really nice to see. And it is a very small sample size because we did get him at the trade deadline. So, we had about 20 to 30 games with Coby White, but in that time span, that's what the on and off numbers look like when you have Coby White plugged into this lineup.
Hmm. Wow.
So
Yeah, that's good stuff.
hopefully that gives you guys a little bit more peace of mind.
For sure.
Do you
Sorry,
have
I
any
was
thoughts
looking
on
at
the Coby White deal?
well, to be honest, I was looking at a report. I'm looking for it now. Hold on. While I'm looking for that, yeah, I think it's a good deal, dude. It's like what, 20 something million a
It's about
year
26.
for, yeah, I mean, that's great value for Coby White and for what he's doing, being a starting point guard. Um, yeah, yeah, man, that dude knows how to get buckets too. Like he's a fun player to watch, just in general. And so
I mean, we all remember the shots he was hitting in the play-in. Oh my gosh,
yeah, man, he's a stud.
the corner shot. Dude took no time. As soon as that ball touched his hands, he did not care.
Yeah.
He let that ball fly. Oh my goodness. Bless his heart.
Oh man, where is it?
But Nas Reed makes 25. So we at least have 3 years of Nas Reed as long as he accepts his player option. Nas Reed isn't anything too crazy either. So salary cap wise, where we stand is pretty much we had 25 there, 26 there. So you get rid of LaMelo, we keep Coby White, get Nas Reed. Our salary cap goes up 10 million, and that's still including Miles. Miles makes 22.8 million this season. He has one more year left. So 158. You have the 40 million trade exception. Zach, the first apron's 209. So they still have plenty of room. Plenty. Especially, it will tell me everything. I don't know where Miles is going, but let's say they trade him off and they make more cap space. They're preparing to sign someone or trade for someone big. They have to be. I don't know who it is, but it's someone. I have no idea.
John Morant, welcome to the team, brother.
Okay.
Woo! No, so I saw the report from Mike Lissette. Apparently, he's a Hornets guy, but it's pretty knowledgeable about the Hornets being interested in Jaylen Brown. Now,
also, if you do DraftKings, DraftKings has the Hornets as the second in the
please bet
Jaylen Brown
responsibly.
sweepstakes. And I thought it was funny the Celtics are first. So literally besides his own team, the Hornets are the number one team to get Jaylen Brown in a trade.
Yeah, brother, just give us Reed, Knipple, and Brandon Miller, and we're set.
So just turn
Sure,
around and
he's
give me Nas
yours.
Reed.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I do it for that. Oh man, so yeah, that's the next. Well, we'll see. There'll probably be something that comes out of nowhere too.
But it's interesting because like they want a big man, but I also saw rumors they do want a first round pick for Jaylen Brown as well. Which makes sense. I would want some picks for
Yeah, I
Jaylen
mean,
Brown.
I'd keep him at that point, no matter what he says.
But if the Hornets trade Miles Bridges for a big man, could they get Jaylen Brown? Or maybe there's another route they could
If
get a
it's a
big man?
3-team,
Maybe.
like if Miles goes somewhere, it's possible. I mean, for me, just like being honest, if I were to send him to a team, I would prefer
The Cavs.
Portland.
Oh, Portland. Okay.
Well, yeah, the Cavs. Yeah, there's been that report with Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
Could be pretty fun. The only thing that would suck about that is I don't really want Jaylen Brown on the Cavs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Being in the East and already a very competitive Cavs team. Evan Mobley would be fire, though, on the Celtics. But, yeah, I would be very interested in the Trailblazers if we can somehow get Donovan Clingan out of that trade.
Oh, and fun fact, another report came out saying that earlier Coby White turned down an offer from the Hornets following the NBA Finals and searched for a starting role from another team because he wanted to be starting. That's what his
That's
request
wild.
was. So the front office began weighing their options, and that's where they decided to trade Lamelo to the Timberwolves. And then that's when negotiations quickly resumed from there.
Dude, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mitchell Robinson is not returning to the Knicks either. That just got reported, but
He's not?
nope.
Thank goodness. Get him out.
There's your big man. Just get him.
Dude, I don't want Mitchell Robinson.
Why not? Just
Ugh,
take him. It's
he's
okay.
going to the Lakers, bro. Let's stop.
Oh,
He's a Laker, and we all know it.
come on, man.
I don't want that dude who gets tired after 5 minutes and
All
can't make a free
right.
throw.
Fine. I'll
Come
let you
on.
have your moment. It's okay.
But there's another big man who kind of got paid. Since we're kind of talking about Hornets mostly this episode or whatever video, Mark Williams,
Yeah.
he got himself a little bag.
Yeah. It makes sense. You kind of have to.
Yeah. And honestly, so he signed a 3-year, $38 million deal. To be honest, I feel like when he's healthy, he's worth almost double that.
Yeah.
But that's the issue, is him just actually
He
being on the
still has
court.
health
But
issues. I mean, he played more games this season. But there are still moments where
I'm sorry. When I
little
think of
tweaked.
Mark Williams now, I only think of Jose Alvarado punching him in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that was so funny.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know he could reach him.
I don't know, man. He was flailing so much. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it was funny. But congrats to Mark, man. I mean, there were points last year I felt like he was the Suns' second best player. Like he can hoop, man, when he's out there. So I think that's a good deal. And then they got Malawatch too.
Mm-hmm.
They got a nice little front court.
Well, it's kind of the same with the
But
Hornets at times too. Like there were moments where Mark Williams actually looked like super dominant.
yeah,
But then there's also other moments where it's just like, okay, what are we doing? What is happening?
remember when he was a Laker for one day?
Yeah, and I thought Dalton Connect was
Dalton Connect.
yeah. Good thing that didn't work out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because Dalton Connect is not looking so hot now.
No.
Yeah.
He literally fell off a cliff once that trade fell through.
Yeah.
That was the moment where he just started to go downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy's kind of hostage right now.
Well, I wonder if
Set him
his bad
free.
play, do you think it's mainly just because he knows because of the trade? Do you think he's gonna
Yeah,
play better
I
once he
mean, it's
leaves?
kind of his play, but
Yeah.
I think he'll actually play better. I think he needs to get out of LA.
Yeah.
But
You think
send
like
that dude.
you think he's just kind of like out of it now?
I mean, I would kind of be checked out
Yeah.
in a way. Like, I mean, how was Mark Williams after that fell through with the Hornets?
Well,
Did
he
you
was
notice,
mad.
like,
I wouldn't say he
yeah,
was checked out from the Hornets, but
and he got to leave the team after the year?
yeah, he honestly was more mad at the Lakers.
Hmm.
So, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Which I mean, to be fair, makes sense. I mean, the Lakers definitely were really sus in that move, so but it's
that was a
fine.
lame move.
Yeah.